So,
Yeah.
I can't see you very well, but I bet you are very much lovely as well. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Yeah. À, mình bắt đầu lúc 1:40 đúng không? We start about 10, so 5 minutes later. Yeah,
Okay, in 5 minutes time.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Thank you.
Should I keep my camera open or is it okay if I close it a bit?
Uh, so we can we are participant. Yeah. Amina. Yes. So you school
Yes.
teacher? Are you school teacher?
Yes, I
Yeah.
am.
So what grade are you teaching now?
Yeah, I am currently teaching in a public high school in the Philippines, teaching grade 8 English, grade 9 English, grade 11 and grade 12. So both in junior high school and senior high school.
Oh, high school. Yes, I have two sons, and she's he they I want them to practice speaking. Yeah, so I applies in online class with the Philippine teachers. So do you have
Wow, how was it so far?
yeah? So do you teach the online tutors like that?
Yeah, I'm also an online teacher, actually.
Oh, yeah. So so it's nice to meet you, and maybe in the future, um, I I want you to be my teacher's son. Yeah,
Sure thing. Please do contact me.
yeah. Okay, we start now. Okay, we start now. Yeah.
Okay. We're going to start the
Yes.
presentation.
So, good afternoon, our presenters and participants. Welcome to the Vietnamese International Convention 2022. On behalf of organizing committee, we would like to thank you so much for your participation and contribution to our annual convention success. I'm Ho Quỳnh Hoa as the presentation moderator. I'm delighted to see all of you in the lineup present today, especially in the parallels line oral presentation. We do hope that all of you will be able to have some valuable knowledge and experience as takeaway from the talk. Before the presentation, few consideration. In case if you have any questions or concern about presentation, please feel free to leave them of so that we can ask the question for easy response in the 5-minute Q&A section. So now we're glad to welcome Miss Amina Guray in this 30 minutes parallel live oral presentation, which is entitled Effects of Reading Logs to Students' Reading Attitudes. About the presenter, Miss Amina Guray is a licensed professional high school English teacher and an ESL tutor in the Philippines. She is currently taking up arts teaching degree at Diana Moscow Memorial State University. Please welcome Miss Amina Guray.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank the sponsors and the organizers for making this event possible. I'd also like to extend my thanks to the researchers, the educators, the participants, and of course, the tech team who willingly spared their time to listen to my presentation. Thank you very much, everyone. On behalf of Dr. Uychoco, my co-author and co-presenter, who weren't able to make it today, allow me to present our study. Okay. Being a beginning teacher is extremely challenging. One of the many realizations that I had as a school teacher is that I have to strengthen my pedagogy in the process. And in this process, I have to get acquainted with various macro skills of English language to develop my pedagogy bank. In my educational context, I have observed many students dislike reading. They find reading a tedious task and a requirement rather than an important skill for lifelong learning. And I wonder why. Because as educators, we believe in the power of reading. This very observation gave way for this study, investigating the effects of a reading intervention strategy to students' reading attitude. Okay. While reading is an excellent way for students to make progress in learning, the wrong approach can make it boring and frustrating. This is from Lutaya 2011, one of the literatures cited for this study. And both in the Philippine and world context, a survey of literatures in the study found that much focus has been given reading achievement while setting aside the valuable contribution of cultivating positive reading attitudes in the process. Hence, in the locale of the study, it was also observed to be regarded an obligatory task, forcing students to read literatures and making the genuine culture of reading habit frustrating. Hence, the goal of this study is to test a reading intervention strategy that will make reading more motivating and meaningful rather than forceful and frustrating. Okay, why reading logs? Okay, so reading logs is referred actually to written records of students' personal reactions, reflections, and learning in every book that they read. It includes pre-reading, during reading, and post-reading activities. And of course, reading logs has been defined to be a place to take risks, speculate, ask questions, express opinions, and build knowledge while giving the students the ability to grow as strategic readers and independent learners. Why target reading attitude? What is reading attitude in our study? Reading attitude is defined as the state of mind accompanied by feelings and emotions that make reading more or less probable. And according to Krashen 1994, it has been regarded as one of the important affective factors influencing the decision to read. Okay. In one of my graduate subjects, I came across a reflective and motivational reading strategy that integrates reading and writing tasks, and that is reading logs. Okay. So some research gap that has been found that gave way for the study is, of course, the insufficient investigation into how reading actually influence the affective domains, because much focus has been given only to the cognitive ones, and also the lack of data in terms of investigating reading logs at the high school level. Okay. Survey of literatures in the study also suggest that reading logs have been effective in the elementary level, as shown in the research of Pack and Wesley 2012 and Cruz 2017. However, it seemed to be ineffective. Okay, it seemed to be ineffective in the elementary level and effective in the higher education or college level students. So I wonder, what about in high school level? Would it be effective as well? Here are the theoretical basis of this study. First, I have the Matthewson's attitude influence model, the expectancy value theory, the self-determination theory, and the intrinsic motivation principle. Okay, so Matthewson's attitude influence model, okay, shows the relationship of the cognitive, affective, and conative reading attitude. Cognitive, it means the evaluative beliefs of our students towards their reading abilities. Affective, their emotions and feelings towards it, whether they like what they do. And conative, this is the actual reading behavior of our students. For the expectancy value theory, it says that readers choose to read when they have positive expectations of successfully achieving a reading task. And one prime component of targeting these expectations are through interesting, available, and suitable reading materials, which in the study are all targeted by an ongoing extensive reading program and strengthened by reading logs. Self-determination theory states that promoting reading, to have a successful reading endeavor, we have to promote conditions that arouse intrinsic motivation rather than extrinsic ones. Because intrinsic motivation can bring long-term effects and benefits, whereas that of extrinsic motivation is only temporary. And so the role of intrinsic motivation is very much needed, okay, in the study. And intrinsic motivation, of course, is valuing reading due to experiencing the highest level of connection with the text, oneself, and the world, and not because they are only graded and they only read because it is a requirement in school. Okay, for the research questions, okay, my experiences in teaching in the secondary level made me realize a few points, which resulted to this study. First, the importance of reading as a skill. Two, the focus given to cognitive tasks and honing reading performance alone, leaving attitudes and motivations aside. And of course, the need of incorporating writing in reading tasks to have reflective thinking and uphold positive reading attitudes. Hence, the question of the study is geared towards determining or investigating the effects of reading logs to the reading attitudes of my students. First question, what is the attitude towards reading before engaging in reading logs? Second, what is the attitude towards reading after engaging in reading logs? And third, is there a significant difference in attitudes towards reading before and after engagement in the said reading intervention? Okay, for the paradigm of the study, I use the IVDV model. The independent variable is reading logs, and the dependent would be reading attitude, which is actually divided into three components: cognitive, affective, and conative. Again, cognitive, the evaluative beliefs; affective, feelings and emotions towards reading; and conative, the actual reading behavior of the students. For the research design, it is a quantitative research and quasi-experimental in design because it lacked the randomization element, since I used total enumeration sampling in having my participants or having my respondents in the study. Here is the treatment model done. So first, there has been a pretest of reading attitude from a questionnaire, an adapted questionnaire. And then reading logs has been implemented and used hand in hand with the ongoing extensive reading activity. And of course, there's also a post-test of reading attitude questionnaire after the intervention. For the sources of data, I used 55 grade 7 students in a private school in my locality in Pangasinan, Philippines. For the instrumentation and data collection, okay, the reading motivation strategy is reading logs, of course. Reading logs are written records of students' personal reactions, which include pre-reading activities, during reading activities, and post-reading activities. This has been done online and submitted in the learning modality and classroom that the students are using a word processing tool. And of course, for the instrument of the reading attitudes questionnaire, this is a 24-item Likert scale questionnaire adopted by Park 2020 from Yamashita 2004. Okay, it tests the level of agreement of the students in terms of the cognitive and affective attitude and the level of frequency for the conative attitude. It has been adapted by Park to suit the context of secondary level learners or respondents. Here are the steps in the data gathering and data collection procedures. First, we have identified the population and the sample and all the needed data. Another one, of course, research ethics, asking permission and approval from the school authority. Third is administering the pretest attitude survey questionnaire, and then implementing and utilizing reading logs, collecting the reading logs, and finally administering the post-test attitude survey questionnaire. Okay, for the analysis of data, okay, the study used categorical data through measuring the levels of agreement and frequency. Hence, median was the central tendency used for analysis and interpretation. Visual inspection of the histogram and box plots showed that the results for the normality test are approximately normally distributed. Hence, it proceeded with using the t-test of the dependent samples to test significant differences of median. Okay, here are the results of the study. Okay, for the pretest reading attitude, okay, it has been found that there is a high level of agreement towards the respondents' cognitive attitude or their evaluated beliefs on their reading abilities. Also, there's a high level of affective attitude or positive feelings and acceptance towards reading tasks, but also negative on the negative encounters and challenges towards reading. However, there's a low level of cognitive attitude or frequency in their reading habits and performing actual reading tasks. Okay. However, next one, meanwhile, for the post-test, here are the results. Okay, so there's no change for the cognitive and cognitive reading attitudes after the intervention. And in the affective, the attitude moved down the scale to neutral. Hence, the respondents had a stronger sense of pride and lower reading anxiety after the intervention. Okay. For the third question, the difference between the pre-test and the post-test reading attitude of the respondents. Okay, it's significant at 0.05 level. There's a significant difference in the affective attitude, in their feelings, and in their emotions towards reading. And it shows the potential of reading logs to cause significant improvements in the affective attitude of students towards reading, because it is a reflective motivation strategy and intervention that aims to integrate reading and writing tasks for effective and enjoyable extensive reading. Overall, there's no um, there's no significant difference on the overall reading attitude out of the researchers' curiosity. This also has been found out, and of course, other variables that the study was unable to investigate may be the cause for the non-significant result. Okay. Despite the non-significant result, future researchers may want to explore more and look into a possibility of relationship, especially on Matthewson's model, the relationship of the three types of components of reading attitude: cognitive, affective, and cognitive. For the conclusion, okay, reading logs is a reading intervention strategy characterized by reflective journaling, integrating reading and writing tasks for effective and enjoyable extensive reading activity. Throughout the intervention, the respondents were able to have a significant change of affective attitudes or their feelings towards reading, but not in the cognitive and cognitive. Okay? Hence, further investigation on the variables not explored in the study is recommended to study further possible relationships of cognitive, affective, and cognitive reading attitudes. Thank you very much.
We would we would like to share our big thanks for great presentation. Now we're happy to receive any questions that you may have for our presenter. So please, if you any questions, feel free to ask her. Hello. Uh, I would like to have a questions about how you proceed reading logs in your class. Like for example, do you have an example of one of your students reading logs so we can take it as an model? Hello?
Okay, wait, I'm gonna, yeah, there is. Yeah, just to give a background of how reading logs proceeded with my class. Of course, there's an ongoing extensive reading activity. However, I have observed that the students actually dislike reading cognitively, right? Only for grading. And so I devised or tried to conduct this one and give them, okay, a reading log. Okay, it's like a reflection, like a reading journal. And since the modality during that time is on the internet, still they are using Google Classroom at that time. It was uploaded there. However, I'm so sorry, I cannot present you one right now. Can I just give one later after the presentation to the organizers
Of
to show
course,
you examples of how they put the entries?
of course, thank you. And I would like to have just one more questions about the material that you use. Um, as we already know that we have to suit the material of the reading log to the students' curriculum, right? What happened if
Yes.
students show resistance to the topic of readings that we provide them?
Sorry, what happened if?
Sorry. Is there any way to increase our student interest in the reading material that we provide them? Since sometimes students may show resistance toward the reading material that we provide them. For example, it might not be interesting enough is to academic, for example.
Yeah, that's why it's very important to have like a pre-survey of the interest of the students regarding the materials. So we give them the leeway of choosing the topics that they like and also measuring the reading level of the materials that they give them. In the previous school where I am in, they at the beginning of the school year they conduct reading tests, standardized reading tests that is in line with the curriculum of the school so that they'll know the Lexile level of the students. And also, they subscribe to a reading program in which their interests are being considered in terms of giving them the material. They'll be the one, there's like a reading library, and they'll be the one to choose their.
Amina, mic tốt rồi. Của cô bên bên cô đang tắt rồi. Amina, you are turning off. You are turning off the microphones and the video cameras, so we cannot hear and see you. Hello. Mình bị ổn đúng không ạ?
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
Hello. Yeah, welcome back. Yes. Okay.
I am so sorry.
So maybe she's asking you again.
Yeah, I am so sorry. There's a slight problem in terms of Wi-Fi and electricity in my country, but never mind. Yeah, I hope I was able
So
to give a yeah,
yeah,
please
no, that's all right. Do I need to repeat the questions or can you um
continue what I am talking about.
yeah, we were on about how to improve student interest in our material because our material needs to suit the curriculum and student level. And uh, what should we do if students show resistance to our method as well as the material we provide?
Right. When students, I was mentioning about the current strategy that my school has. It's measuring their Lexile level or their reading level and also their interest and providing a reading library for them to choose materials that targets two, right? By giving them leeway, by giving them the choices, we're targeting these two. Their reading level, we're targeting their reading level and also their reading interest. And that way, we'll lessen this resistance. But of course, if still our students could show resistance despite us trying different methods, I think this is the very role of research, right? And us trying different strategies that would match or work in a particular class.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you for waiting for me.
Thank you so much for your sharing, and we have valuable knowledge. And on behalf of Vietnam Show 2022, we wish you all the best with the productive day and meaningful rest of our virtual convention. And thank you and goodbye, and see you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I maybe I will email you and ask you some question about your topic. Yeah, thank you.
Please.